I'm Owen from ESC Outdoors, and this is the review of the Evolv Geshido Velcro. The Evolv have brought back an old favourite in the Geshido with plenty of updates. This time around, they made the Geshido to be a versatile shoe with a key focus maintaining comfort whilst wearing them. They're also available in a lace-up version, but for this review I focused on the Velcro. The main difference being that the Velcro has got a synthetic upper, whilst the lace-up is basically just slightly stiffer and also has a leather upper, so not a vegan shoe on that one. Now the Geshidos are made with a full-length 1.2mm plastic midsole, which is definitely on the stiffer side of things. They have a very marginal downturn when new. This slightly flattens out over time, and a very slight asymmetric toe box. 4.2mm of their own Trax SAS rubber is also throughout the sole of the shoe, which is the same as in their top performing shoes like the Phantom. Now the synthetic upper of the Velcro version here doesn't just make it a vegan friendly shoe, it also allows a very minimal stretch throughout the time in the shoe, just more moulding around the foot up to half a size absolute maximum. The minimal asymmetry of the toe box and downturn don't actually hinder the comfort much either. This just continues to allow a tiny bit more precision whilst maintaining the level of comfort from that wider toe box, as I say. That precision is just that little bit better with that, and it makes it a bit more versatile in overhanging terrain as well as face climbing. Now the Geshido's been designed by Evolv to be a bit of a jack of all trades shoe, and I found this to be pretty true throughout the time I've had with them. They definitely lean maybe a little bit more towards the edging side of it over smearing in my eyes due to that stiffer midsole. That makes them a little bit more outdoor focused in my eyes as well, because that's where you tend to get that sort of more frequent smaller edging. But all in all, it's a pretty versatile option for indoors and out. Now something I do find a little bit hard to put into words, which probably doesn't help this review very much, I'm going to try my best, is that the midsole in the shoe does almost have this elastic feel to it and slightly higher tension than most I've had before. When I'm actually weighting the shoe on smaller holds, you do feel that that midsole is sort of supporting your foot in a way that it almost wants to be brought back into this original shape, the resting position, a lot more in others. Like, you know, if you have a stiffer midsole, it would generally be sort of like that, whereas this has enough flex in it to sort of give it a little bit. And when it is giving, it, like I said, just feels like it's want to be pulling back. It's quite hard to describe. I notice it a lot more than in other shoes in the Geshido. It's not a bad thing at all, it just took a little bit of getting used to. Evolv used their own Trax SAS rubber, which performed just as well as on other Evolv shoes that I've tried before. It's very sticky, and somehow it remains to be also very hard wearing. I don't know how they get the two to be combined, but it has lasted incredibly well and shown very little signs of wear at all. The lack of a toe patch may be a bit of a downside for some climbers who spend a lot of time in more overhanging sort of cave problem terrain. To me, it's a bit of a benefit in this type of shoe. Like, it's a jack of all trades at the end of the day, and I think the benefits of having a more comfortable upper just above the knuckles outweigh the sort of maybe a bit of a slightly overkill, unnecessary spec of having a toe patch on this style shoe. For face climbing, it's very rare you're going to be doing that sort of toe hooking, and even then, it's probably on something that's so big that you're going to allow to just still get the grip of this fine. Moving our way to the back of the shoe, the heel really was quite secure throughout, and the heel cup didn't really have much dead space on my foot at all. Didn't have any bagging throughout the life. There's a very small part that isn't actually rubber coated just here, which just allows a little bit of breathing, but not enough to sort of, like I say, distort or flex around when you're actually wearing them. Now the tension band across the heel is actually slightly less aggressive in the Geshidos than in some other shoes out there. Often the case is this is pushed in here to force your toes to the edge of the toe box to create as much performance as you can get out of them. The Geshido being a bit more of a comfort orientated shoe, it's a lot less tensioned here. Now at first I thought that might be a bit of an issue, and you might end up getting a bit of slippage when really cranking down and then popping your heel out. That was not the case. It felt secure throughout the use and remained incredibly comfortable as with the rest of the shoe. Anyone struggling with Achilles pain or having extra tenderness here, this could be a great bet for you. Now Evolv, unlike many brands out there, actually make their shoes to be to your street shoe size or half a size down to have a tight performance fit. As street shoe, they were still tight enough to feel confident on smaller edges and maintain a dependable heel without the fear of slipping or rolling at all, as I've already mentioned. This offers a snug but comfortable fit for me after a few sessions in them, and remains pretty consistent throughout the life of the shoe. The opposing Velcro straps gave a secure and adjustable fit without putting too much pressure on the top of the shoe due to the lightly padded tongue that's split here. It's nicely ventilated and allows a great fit and comfortable use. With the sizing, like I say, I would recommend going for street shoe size, generally speaking, or half a size down for a real performance fit. Personally though, if you're going for a shoe like this, you're more likely to go for the comfort fit, because if you want a more aggressive fit, then you're probably better off with a more aggressive shoe. Now, the Geshidos perform really well on a variety of angles and disciplines for me, and definitely deliver for those looking for a solid all-round shoe or comfortable option on longer routes or sessions. If you don't want to take them off during an indoor session or a long day with the trad climbing, they're also a great bet for that. Now, without pigeonholing the Geshido too much, I'd say the main benefit would be for two specific types of climbers out there. They're going to benefit the most from the comfortable fit, and also having the one shoe that will do a bit of everything really well. Now, the first of which would be the newer climber out there looking for a step up on the technical front from a beginner's shoe or rentals. They might not want to sacrifice fully over the comfort of the shoe for performance in a super aggressive shoe, but they definitely want a bit more precision, which the Geshido definitely offers. They'll also allow a bit more rigidity in the midsole than some climbers might want if you are an indoor climber, as an example, whereas you begin to build up the strength in your calves and the endurance. This allows you just to not pump out as quickly and really struggle to weight your feet. And I think for that sort of climber out there, this is a perfect bet. The second main appeal in my eyes is for those who I would describe as the Anasazi climber out there, wanting a flatter profile and a bit of all-round performance no matter what the terrain. They offer great versatility and higher levels of comfort than a lot of shoes out there, and make an ideal trad or training shoe for this reason. They're not going to sort of be the struggle of going to the crag and thinking, oh, I wish I'd packed my edging shoe, or I wish I'd packed a softer shoe. They'll be perfectly in the middle for you and provide a great option for that. If you only climb indoors or on smeary rock types, then you might find the Geshido to be fractionally too stiff for this. Unless you're a heavier climber, you might just want something slightly softer. They are a very versatile shoe because they fit perfectly in the middle in my eyes, but for specifics just like that, they may be a little bit on the soft side. I think all in all, Evolv have achieved exactly what they set out to do with these, making a good, comfortable, less aggressive model. And that's actually something I wish more brands would try and do at the moment, where a lot of the focus is on the more sort of fast car equivalent, you know, like the sports car of shoes. I think there needs to be a bit more comfort taken into consideration with them, and I think that's where the Geshido fits in really well. Now, to quote Evolv, the namesake of the Geshido stands for Get Shit Done, which is where the name, like I say, definitely does come into the shoe on this. They are very versatile and will deliver a level of comfort unlike a lot of shoes out there at the moment, with precision. All in all, a great all-rounder for a lot of people out there.